he goes like this and he plugs his nose and then he points an arrow down and he goes, couldn't breathe and went down all at once. I just feel like I'm like bracing myself. I feel like I am in an IMAX theater and it's all happening around me and I'm kind of like bracing myself for impact and to come out the other side of it. I don't know why I feel this way. He's talking about the way people came together to honor his memory, whether we did a balloon release or we honored his memory in a specific way. He tells me that we passed before his time. Hold your breath, because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. He goes, I am okay. The situation is painful, but I feel okay. I braced myself and I got through it. Kato, I didn't expect for that to happen. It's like all of a sudden could have even, I don't know why I'm hearing him in slow motion, could have even happened by the hands of another person. He goes like this and he says, accident. Okay. I'm paying $5,000 to the first people that message me. Don't do it. Y'all are nuts. Anyways, cool. If you get filtered, just respond to one of my beautiful moderators. So I said this person passed before his time, and she said, yep, this person passed at 32. He just goes down all of a sudden. I kind of brace for impact. I either hold my breath or it's hard to breathe, and then we go like this. I get sign symbol of tragic. I feel like once you realize the situation was out of control, it's more of a brace yourself than try to make any last minute corrections. It's almost like, oh shit, like when the situation's going down. So I don't think there was anything you could have done to prevent it. I think it was just bracing yourself. It seems like, now I know I've probably talked to this person before, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to take responsibility for the way that they pass, but they say that they're like, I was kind of on this slide and didn't realize the slide just, at the bottom of the slide is a void. So if I go down this slide, if I do this thing, it just kind of goes into the void. And then I just don't realize it till I'm right in front of the void and I'm like, oh shit, too far down. And then I slip into it. I almost brace for this, if this makes sense. Tragically, I think that he says he's already crossed over to the other side. He keeps saying, like, I didn't know it would end like that. I'm sorry for leaving you so quickly. And she's like, it makes sense. First of all, I think this is beautiful. Even the way, like, he writes it, I think we've got some real beauty to it. I didn't even put your name on here. Excuse me, I was so excited to talk to Mr. Matt here. Okay. So, I just want to show you what I've got here. So, he talks about who is this to you? Yeah, you have to, excuse my manicure. I just took my nails off. If it's a child, either if it's a child or a significant other of yours, there is, okay. I couldn't tell. He keeps apologizing. He keeps apologizing for, like, not making the change before we were on the slide, for not thinking, I'd love to know how he ends up passing, but it's for not thinking it would go, for somehow thinking it would go different than this. He kind of looks at it and goes, well, that was dumb. He tried many times. For what? Oh my goodness. For thinking that this was going to solve it. How many times am I going to get on this slide and expect to not just go into the void? Overdose from fentanyl? and laced heroin. Oh my goodness. So he realized, okay, so there's a consciousness of going into being high, going down the slide, realizing that you are experiencing an overdose, taking that partial responsibility, which he must have done previously. If we've already had a conversation, highly doubt this man would slip through my fingers, okay? And that's why it makes sense. That makes perfect sense, because it's a situation. I'm going to go down this slide. I'm going to go down the slide. We're having a bunch of fun. We're doing what we need to do to what we perceive is as fun, okay? And eventually he goes down this slide and he goes, oh, there's no coming out of this. There's no going back. And we brace ourselves. So internally, he knew exactly what was happening. The fact that he starts by going, he's going down the slide, he's going into the high, and it wasn't until he was in the high that he realized exactly what he was going into. He goes, were you, I say, were you scared? He goes, not really. I just felt like, let's say it's a situation with you. I don't think he would have left the text messages. Like, I think that he just like has a shitty day, texts someone something shitty and gets high and dies. Okay, so let's say if you guys weren't on good terms, he's sorry. If him and his girl weren't on good terms, he's sorry. He's sorry he had to go out like that. I think that maybe there was a stressful moment meets habits. Okay. We weren't on good terms. He says he's sorry for leaving when you guys were not on good terms. I think there is, whatever I said before, it's the biggest regret of my life. It is also, he did not realize he could have regretted it at the moment because he had other things he was thinking about, selfishly himself, okay? And you created distance to hopefully make him better, and that's just not what karma had in store for him, and you did nothing wrong. So he wants to come through and apologize for that because it might be the biggest regret of your life, but he says regret nothing because these are... It's my slide I keep going down for the 700th time, and he apologizes already for creating that gap between you guys before he had a chance to really be in your life. I don't know if he has met any of your children or if you have a little boy or a little kid or something like this, but he talks about being the funkle, the spiritual uncle, to your kids. And so, whenever you have those, if you have those, okay. So he never met my children, and he talks about how he has met your children, just since he's been a spirit. He knows of your children, and he's doing his best to, guide your children as well. Some things that they'll do, I have 3 kids biologically. Some things you'll do, you'll be like, oh man, you remind me of my brother. And that's the one that has a primary guardian angel. That's your brother, but he's looking over all of them plus grandma. Now, if we keep going, I'll end up bringing all your other dead people in, and it's quite a crowd for today, lady. You know what I'm saying? All right, my dear, thank you so much for coming in today. I'm glad to bring your brother back on the line. I'm glad that he keeps it so beautiful, just like the last time. He keeps it simple. He talked about exactly how he ends up passing. Maybe he talked about talking to your kids before. Who knows? But I love it. So you are so very welcome. Thank you for being here and being a part.